They say that there are 3 levels of conversation. Level 1 is when people talk about other people. Level 2 is when people talk about events. There's nothing wrong with either of those, but this is Level 3 Studio. Level 3 is when people talk about ideas and what is possible. Welcome to Level 3 Studio, aka Chef Jay's Kitchen, aka the Innovator's Oasis, where the questions feed your mind, the food feeds your body, and the experience without a doubt feeds your soul. Let's take a toast. Cheers, cheers, 21, cheers, cheers, salute, 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 salute. Yeah. Well, let's get right to it. Race. What's it like being white in America, Sky?
I mean, any white person that doesn't admit it, you have a privilege.
Oh.
And
Oh.
I think that's a lot of things that people don't want to ever really talk about that they need to, because, you know, as being a white person, I have hella homies that are not white, and have I been in the car with them, got pulled over, all that, yeah. Is it different? Hell yeah. And the people that act like it's not, I think it's bullshit. And as a white person, I just think that needs to be talked about more, and just because it's just annoying.
Oh my God, what an intro statement. I was just seeing what you were gonna say, but you came with it. I didn't even do the intros yet. Y'all was just seeing what you were gonna say. Okay. Well, now I feel like I can't digress from that moment, but yeah. You went for it though.
You came out swinging.
That's not the first time I've tried that, and people have been like, oh my God. Okay.
We'll come out here.
To my left, Sky, May Mob, local creative, big practitioner of positivity, lover of mashed potatoes.
Huge way. Huge way.
To my right, Mo, local entrepreneur, biz owner, professional adventurer. To his right, D'Anthony, AKA, I'm Catch That, the king of bank fishing. And across the table, Cal, M94, at M94 Studio, designer, videographer, photographer, and all around dope ass dude.
Hey.
And as always, Pat Rob 2 Raw, AKA Late Nights with 3 Z's. Don't forget to 17.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's get it cracking. All right, segment 1, practical and tactical. What is it that you spend your time doing? So that can be from a theoretical perspective, like, are you trying to move the culture? Are you trying to change a business model? Are you trying to influence your city? Or a very tactical level, like tomorrow morning when you wake up, what are you gonna spend your time doing? Sky, I put you in the fire, man, so we'll let you keep rolling it. What is it that you spend your time doing?
I mean, to be honest, the one thing I focus on the most is just being happy. So don't get me wrong, you gotta do things in your life regardless of if you're doing what you love, that you're like, shit, I'm not trying to do this today. But really every day, I try to wake up and be like, what's going to make me happy today? Is it a certain song that I would first wake up to? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to, grab some food that I know is going to be fire? But it's just really finding that spark every day that's going to make me happy, and then everything else is going to fall.
So let me ask you, do you think happiness is fleeting? Like what makes that sustainable? You know what I mean? Like what do you do when you have a bad day?
I mean, shit, you don't have a bad day, that's for sure. But looking at the fact that it's okay to have a bad day. There's, bliss in looking at that, because we all know we're going to have a bad day, and it's just something that, it makes you feel human again, because there's always going to be things that happen, and either, you're going to be the bigger person, or you're going to keep climbing, or, you know what I mean, you're going to just take the step back. So I think it's important to, if you have a bad day, to reflect on it, but, having it in time and being yo, it's time to move on. It's time to take the next step.
Don't dwell on it.
Yeah, and smile, because we really all live beautiful lives. If you wake up and you have a job and you have a car, even if you don't have a car, I mean,
gratitude.
Yeah, you
being
have
grateful.
You have a place and you have good friends, you have people around you. I mean, everybody here lives a good life because the people around them right now are doing things and are positive, and that's why we're here on a Friday night doing this.
I love it. What's one skill set, and we keep it rolling, what's one skill set you're really working on right now?
Working harder.
The skill set of working harder.
Literally just working harder. And not making an excuse. So instead of being oh, I want to work 8-hour day, make a 12-hour day a normal thing. And that I love. So it doesn't, so just legit working harder every day.
The skill set, Mo, is working harder a skill set?
I mean, you gotta work hard, but at the same time, you gotta work equally as smart, man, because time is your money, man. So, I mean, you can work hard and go go balls to the wall, gas to the metal to the pedal, but you got to think tactically.
What do you spend your time doing, man?
I mean, I spend.
Just come a little closer. Yeah. There you go.
I mean, I spend a lot of my time, man, trying to better myself and inspire others to be better. So, I mean, kind of like life as a video game, man. So every attribute you have, how you communicate with people, rank that up. Be a better communicator. How your physical, your mental health. Go to the gym, read books, man. Expand your knowledge. Be healthy, be active. Save your money, make more money. Just leveling that up every single day, while making an impact.
Give me one thing tactical, man. What's one tactical thing you're really doing on a day to day?
I'm actually strategizing, man. At the end of the day, man, you there's a problem and you solve, man. So you either got a result or you got an excuse.
Yeah.
So I mean, one thing as an entrepreneur, man, like you sink or you swim, man. There was no back plan, man. There was no strategy for me to go a year, 2 years, 6 months. I just did. That's it. And I had no other choice but to do.
You said solving problems, man, and I think that's often the thing we've got away from as entrepreneurs is that the whole point is try to solve a problem. So I'll ask you, like, what's your favorite tool to use?
In terms of like tool, like what?
You can go real practical, like laptop. You can go even more practical, like Premiere, or you can go like a software, or you can. I think he's worried about that shot here.
Gotcha. In terms of what tool that I use to solve problems, I mean, one tool that I extremely used to solve a problem was organization. As a business, you got to be organized. So if you're running something with anything in life, you got to have structure. So as a business, I built my own system for me to have everything run effectively smooth. So whether it came to using my MacBook to have an Excel spreadsheet and build my own POS system, whether it was using my MacBook to edit content for my business with Final Cut, whether it was using the reminders on my iPhone. That's actually one of the greatest things. Technology, a lot of people like nowadays think technology is kind of bad and social media. There's pros and cons to everything, but the reminder system on my iPhone, I literally, hey Siri, and then it's like literally set a reminder to do this tomorrow, and then
I need to do that more.
Boom, locked in, right.
That's literally.
Oh, she ready right now.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Technology, hey, like the technology, use what you have to your advantage. So I mean, it gets a bad stigma because the older generation didn't have technology back in the day, but time change, time progresses. Technology is just gonna keep progressing with it. So there's cons to everything, man. But you gotta look. You count your blessings, not your problems.
Yeah.
So,
gentlemen, what do you spend your time doing?
Man, I just want to piggyback on that, and I feel
Pull it. Keep about 4 to 6 inches.
Yeah.
The subtleties. The pure, right? Yeah, it's gonna be. Yep, there you go. Perfect. There you go.
I just feel like in today's world, like you were saying, having a bad day, I feel like that's manipulation, because like I try to prepare myself every day not to have a bad day, and it's certain things I have to go about my day about not having that bad day, and that's just, like you're saying, being happy, having a plan, strategizing, coming up with ways to, like you said, just better yourself as a person, as a man, as a father, or whatever your belief is, and I feel like that's why I fish. I fish because I get to self-reflect on my life, the things I got to experience, the things I had to sacrifice, the people I had to maybe not be around because of the position and the things I was trying to accomplish in life, and I feel like my goal was to not let people interfere in my process, and that went by me just handling what I had to do and just thinking ahead, always thinking ahead, and being available with myself and just knowing what I have to do, every day to get to that point.
Yeah. I'm gonna push you as well. What's one thing you tactically spend your time doing? Like if you wake up tomorrow, what's one thing you got to do?
Like you were saying, organization. I try to, with my bills and stuff, I try to just be ahead with knowing where they at, knowing where my money is going and stuff like that. So being organized, and that's just stuff that I didn't learn, from my family or nothing. I just learned what I learned of just being in my position and just being able to, read things to help build that, that mindset to be able to, handle those things.
What's the hardest lesson y'all have learned thus far about financial management?
I would.
You gotta What is that like? What was the lesson though? What happened?
It's hard because when I was living by myself, and it struck me like the money just like ended quick.
In and out.
Yeah, it was like in and out. Like it paid my bills. I was like, oh fuck, what am I gonna eat? Yeah, like it came down to fucking ramen, like almost every night.
Until you learn, or you still trying to figure it out? Yeah. What was the building? What did the building blocks look like? Like what were some of the things?
Planned it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely I had to sit down, had to actually reflect. I was like, man, I have to really do this. I'm literally not gonna eat. And it came to the point like when I went to go with friends, I was like, and they asked me, oh, let's go eat. I was like, man, I can't.
Learning to say no. That's the biggest thing, man. Yeah. Learning to say no. What's up, Rob?
Man, mine would be like the lesson that I learned was basically inheriting the discipline to budget. Sometimes it's like I have certain things that I budgeted. I allocate my funds too, but then it's like I see things and I sporadically spend my money. And then it's like I realize, damn, I just had like $5,000, like just ready to invest, but now I got like, you know what I'm saying? It just go by fast. So it's like basically what I'm looking at is how to invest more as opposed to just spending frivolously. Basically the thing that I realized is that my biggest lesson was hitting rock bottom, not having anybody to give you a handout,
right,
and having to make something out of nothing, and then with that something out of nothing, how to reinvest that and take it into leveling up your life completely.
Take them lessons. The biggest thing I'm trying to figure out is, do you have to hit rock bottom though? Is that like a requirement to
not
the?
At all.
Just
like in terms of like what.
Hey, just a second, real quick. Sorry.
As you were saying, sir.
Financial
management. You learned a hard lesson.
Not lesson, man. It's lessons.
Like continually.
I don't know. As a kid, man, like whenever. Like in life, man, you want something, you gotta go work for it. So as a kid, man, I wanted a PlayStation, man. I wanted a camera. I wanted shoes. I wanted whatever. So I was that 12, 13, 14-year-old little kid, shoveling driveways on snow days, man. $15, $20 a driveway, the whole neighborhood, or cutting lawns in the summer, or doing whatever. And I'd buy a PlayStation. I just learned that if I wanted something at a young age, I had to work. I had to put in time. And onto what he said that you got to invest in terms of like money to do something. It's not just money. Money. Any money comes and goes, man. Like anybody can make money. Like you can go hold a sign on the street and go make $20 in a day. I'm pretty sure, do whatever. Anybody can make money. So whenever people say, yeah, it must be nice to have money or whatever, it's nice to have discipline. Cause that's where it's at. But in terms of investment, you gotta invest in yourself and invest in time. So I mean, you either work for somebody else and build their dreams, or you build your own dreams. So I mean, in my business that I'm in right now, I was working for somebody else, and I started off as a salesperson. Then a year later, I started off as manager, GM, and I did everything that an owner would do, and getting paid as a GM. So this was summer of 2016. I mean, I had $0 in my name. I knew how to work. But I just told myself that I want to take it to that next level and open up my own business. And I didn't have a loan. I didn't have nobody to talk to. I mean, in life, if you expect things from people, whether it be a bank, whether it be a person, whether it be anything, if you expect something from somebody else, you're going to set yourself up for failure. Not failure in terms of disappointment and like letting yourself down. So, I mean, I just told myself, hey, at the end of the year, I gave myself a number. I read a book called 14 Ways to Think and Grow Rich. And the first chapter of that book talked about how important manifesting your destiny is. Speaking something out into existence. As wild as it may seem, yeah, I want a Ferrari. Yeah, anybody can say they want a Ferrari, but whenever you say that and then you want to work towards a goal or whatever, I said I wanted to have $20,000 saved up in 5 months. I didn't have $20,000 saved up in 5 months, but I had.
You were a lot further along.
I had a business opened up in 5 months. And I invested in time. It wasn't just money. I mean, yeah, money comes and goes, but I put in time. I worked for, before I wanted to do the social stuff, linking up with creatives, anything, I focused on building myself first before I put myself out there.
Yeah.
So I found me, and then whenever I started building and then working, and then I started traveling and really finding who I was, that's where it comes into play, man. But invest in your...
You guys are business owners. Who owns a business? How many people in here own a business? Who owns a business? Everyone owns a business? Not that guy.
I mean, it's about risks, man.
Yeah.
People are scared to take risks. You're scared to invest in yourself, invest in your brand, invest in something. I mean, whether you're passionate about something, I mean, as this guy was saying, working hard, man. He was saying you got that 8-hour shift, turn it into 12. Like, look, at the end of the day, we got 24 hours in a day. We all breathe, we all sleep. I know a lot of you guys that spend so much time on your phone scrolling through the TL, through IG, through Netflix.
Make money off of it.
I know, make money off of it, but you're utilizing that time consuming other stuff instead of investing in yourself, instead of consuming the Netflix. I'm not saying it's bad to not chill and everything and stuff, but there's a lot of distractions in life. So
Cal, what does discipline look like in your life, man? Cali.
Yeah.
Oh, like the whole, put the eye on there.
Yeah.
California.
Cali. I'm gonna just say Cal now. Yeah, man. From your perspective, man. Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces from just.
Well, it started with my mom because I grew up with just her in Colombia in South America, and it was tough because she had to support everything. She had to make the money, the housing. I never saw my mom really when I was younger because she was a flight attendant, so she was flying all over the country. Not the country, but to exotic places like Paris and stuff like that. And she got to experience it because she was working hard, but she was also disciplined enough to make that type of money so she can go out to the places and enjoy the job she was doing. And that's something that really stuck with me because what I want to do is I want to make videos 24/7. I want to travel just like Mo. I want to just like everybody here. Everybody here wants to travel. Create travel, and then that's what I want to do. I want to be able to sit and then be happy when I wake up and when I go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Scott, as a daily creative, what's the biggest misconception about being a creative? Just from your perspective, right? You know.
That your entire life is fucking cool.
Right.
Because there's a lot of part of it that's not cool, and you really have to bust your ass. I think that one thing that gets misconstrued a lot, and especially with social media, is that you pick and choose what you want to post, right? But people love to assume what your entire life is, and so yeah, of course I'm not the type of person. I'm not gonna post no negative shit. Because what that brings is negative energy to me. And I don't want that. You know what I mean? So everything I put out is going to be positive.
How do you draw the line, though, between negativity and, authenticity?
So, I think that, being real, if somebody crosses the line, I'm definitely going to have to, you have to address it. Because if you don't address it, then you're not standing up for who you are and what you believe in. And I think that's the most important thing. So, I'm going to be as positive as I can. I think 98% of things can be talked out because it's all about communication. A lot of people in these days, they just weren't taught how to communiate. You know what I'm saying? So, some people, they weren't taught to communicate. They were taught to fight. You know what I'm saying? So, it really just depends. So, if somebody crosses the line, there's a fine line. And we all know that line, but I just don't think that we take... not everybody takes the action that needs to be taken in the right way. Being the bigger person, I learned this as being an older brother and having to, be a father figure in my siblings' lives.
How much older are you?
Just a couple years older. So everybody, they're 23, 21, and 19.
How old are you?
27. So, and my parents being divorced, I went back and forth. So I had to, I don't know, it just taught me a lot of different things about understanding that my life isn't just my life, even if it's just my siblings that may look up to me, that I inspire, my actions and being a bigger person in situations will reflect on other people. And don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna make my own decisions for myself, but I've always learned that long story short, I'll never forget this. Right before I quit like corporate job. This dude named Aaron sat next to me. He was like kind of like a dad figure to me in a way. But he said, Sky, he said, you're going to have to be the bigger person the rest of your life. And at that moment, like, I knew exactly what he meant, because we want to be this big and bad people, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he ain't fucking with me type shit, or yada, yada, yada. Like, it could be in so many different ways, or I got to stun on this person. But it doesn't matter. Like, if you're the bigger person, you're going to grow faster. And I think people forget that. Like,
that the whole point is personal growth and all of this.
Exactly. Like, you talking negative to somebody is not going to bring positive into your life.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys try to actively, Mr. Bankfish, was it Bankfish?
Bank boy.
Bankfish and Bank Boy. Do you try to actively separate like your personal life from a public persona, or are you cool with blending those?
I like to keep everything separate because I keep everything separate because like I don't. Well, to be honest, I play for the NFL. I play for the Chiefs, and I try to keep. That's why I say I fish, because I try to keep that separate, because I don't want to make things bigger than what I am, you know, and so I use fishing as a way to just get away from that kind of limelight, and I get to focus on myself more, and it's not about me putting on this mask for other people, you know. So I love to fish, and that's what
It allows you to feel like you can just be you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough, man. I feel like social media really impacts. Yeah, it really impacts the line between. How do you use it? How do you personally use it?
So I just kind of want to touch on this. These kids came in the shop the other day, and we were talking to them about social media. Like, we didn't have, social media like they did in high school.
I couldn't imagine. Could you imagine being 15, 16?
I can, because, like, I would have used it for the right reasons.
Do you think? You think?
Yes, I'd have been throwing parties and all that.
But you have stories where you just 300 people in 20 minutes. You see 300 people's lives in 20 minutes. And all that reflects back on you.
But if you think about it, like, if at that age and understanding, like, who you are, and if you want to be a positive impact, like, you could influence a lot of people's lives, especially in high school. Because, like, think about it, if a kid's popping from one high school, like, you hear about, like, if it's an athlete or if it's, like, music or whatever it is, you hear about that person. But you could influence those kids because, I feel like it's just changed so much. So I try and, like, stay off it when I can, if I want to say something that's positive, then I'll say it. But other than that, like, I've been telling these two guys that I just need, and D, that I need to post more, because I want to say a lot of positive things, but sometimes that, like, even for me as an open person, sometimes there's like that mental block for me where I'm just like, man, like, I don't really want to, and then I overthink it, and then I don't.
Do you feel like it's one of those things where comparison is the thief of joy? Like, you're thinking about how what you're about to put out will be perceived? For
sure. I'm thinking way too much about things that really don't matter. I'm thinking about people's opinion that I'm thinking
of what they're about to interpret of you.
And I know that doesn't matter, but that's something that I've struggled with my entire life. Yeah. But that's why, like, I really try and be the person that I am, because it may look it may look like it's easy to me, but in reality, it's not. I try to build this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like someone said, like, building yourself. That's a real challenge.
Yeah. I love how you talk about personal development and basically hard work ethic and basically being able to give your all into who you are. And then how you said it's all about personal branding, and it's like how you can invest into yourself and invest your time and what else you say? The time and
in terms of like your personal, like,
as far as growing your personal brand.
It's putting in the time and the effort.
And the effort.
Here's the thing. He said that stuck with me that I was gonna wait and get to. He said it's not about working harder, but working smarter.
Working smart.
My
and
thing is, like,
utilizing tools.
Who teaches? How do you really learn to work smarter?
It's trial and error. I mean, working smart, it's trial and error.
But here's the thing, I'm gonna challenge you here, because I know a lot of people that trial and then trial again and then trial again. But it's nothing against them. It's just like
it's a matter of research and trial and error, and a lot of people kind of overthink whenever. My whole motto in life is the whole video game model and bettering it, and also staying in your own lane. like with social media, in terms of how, like, whenever you say we overthink a post or what people are gonna think, like, look, I was a very, like, I wasn't open like this ever. Like, I was the most quiet kid ever. I mean, my nickname is Mo. My full name is Muhammad. I mean, I was in first grade whenever 9/11 happened. I used to get made fun of in high school. Like, people told me to go back where I came from, terrorists, all these names. And hit, like, I didn't like talking to people, and it played down on my confidence as a kid, and that's why I was so in my shell. So whenever I just put my head down and just said, you know, screw everybody, I'm just gonna work, like, regardless of what I'm doing. I mean, God, I don't know whoever's belief, but whatever. I mean, only the person up above knows the intentions. So regardless if you're doing good or bad, somebody's gonna have something to say to you regardless.
That's the thing I've realized is you can't escape criticism in life.
Self-criticism is the best, though, whenever you can call yourself out and acknowledge, and that's where the discipline comes in into part with that.
So my question, like, especially when you said doing like the right choices or making the right decisions, like, what habits are y'all forming to create the life that you envision?
So
you know
on a day-to-day basis, in terms of habits, man, you have to have that mental discipline, man. In terms of routine, what you said is very important. So whenever you wake up every day, I have a to-do list in terms of that, but it's just having a routine, man. So
I think my biggest thing is not caring what people think.
facts.
That's my biggest, like, focus. Especially.
How do you balance that with making a living?
Well, it depends, because when I post well, it's for real. It's a real, like, because, like, if I work for a client, I'm gonna do what the client thinks. Like, that's a different story.
The direct connection to the check.
Like, yeah, like, when it becomes, like, my personal stuff, like, when I want to express myself, I don't care. Don't care what I post. I don't care who likes it. I don't care who dislikes it. It's always like, if I like it, I'm gonna post it. It's because when I started doing like I started doing some 3D shit, and I loved it.
What'd you say?
I started doing 3D shit.
Oh, 3D.
And I loved it, but I know when I posted it, I like nothing. Nobody ever. Cause you're my boy.
Yeah. But you rock with it.
Ain't easy.
Before we wrap the session, Pat Rob, what's something you spend your time doing, man?
Man, I spend my time, I love what he said. Like, I spend my time trying to formulate a strategy to stay ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, most people look at me as just a music producer. Some people look at me as a businessman, but it's like, I want to be a creator who create a legacy that my daughter can look up to and be proud of when I'm far gone. You know, like, I want to create something that is monumental, and it's like, even when I'm gone, like, it's being spoke up because it made a severe impact on the people that are struggling to make something happen. So every day I spend my time creating a legacy, staying ahead of the game, strategizing on what type of content can be beneficial to next generations, you know?
I love it. I'll take it. We'll close out. We'll wrap. We'll come back. We're going to come back. Hold on to it. Cool.
We'll be back, Mo. We'll be back.